This is a very special football team, made up of young women from a variety of countries.
Football is my passion. Without scoring girls, I'd have never found it.
Maisun and Maisa have been part of the setup from the outset.
Thanks to scoring girls, I've lost all the fears that the war gave me. I feel free here.
The goals being targeted here are not just sporting ones.
For a lot of our girls, football has helped them to grow in confidence and shown them that they can climb mountains.
The scoring girls' main base here is the training ground next to the stadium of Bundesliga club Cologne.
Boots on!
They train here once a week.
Hi.
It's mostly about having fun. The training isn't very intense. It's just so you can play the matches on Saturdays and stuff. We're here to enjoy ourselves, forget about our problems, and see friends.
Being able to just have fun playing football was a new experience for Maisun and Maisa. 9 years ago, the two sisters fled the war in Iraq with their parents.
I used to be really shy and never talk to anyone, including at school. But the training sessions helped me to talk more and to make friends. And I've become a lot more confident.
Näher zusammen. Und hack! Zurück, zurück, zurück und vor. Gut.
Tuğba Tekkal is the boss and coach here. For her, the aim of the project is about more than just scoring on the pitch.
Scoring girls isn't a normal kind of club. It's for girls who would usually be excluded from the sport. We want to change that.
The young women are from a dozen different countries and from different religious backgrounds.
Your favorite routine, Maisun?
Tuğba Tekkal was born in Germany to Kurdish-Yazidi parents.
Okay, bis zu mir, Knie hoch. So, bis zu mir. Ich habe natürlich auch viel Diskriminierung.
I've experienced a lot of discrimination myself. I had teachers who didn't believe in me, said I'd never make it and would end up as a cleaner like my mum. That's an honourable profession, but they didn't think I was capable of much. And when you're 12 or 13, that affects you because you believe it. Even now, at 38, I still carry that with me a bit. Ultimately, it was football that showed there's something I'm really good at.
So good that she made it to the professional level.
You see how good it feels when you work together? That's very, very important.
Das ist ganz, ganz wichtig.
Tuğba played for FC Cologne in the Bundesliga, but faced opposition from her family to realize her dream.
My parents said no. They said it was a sport for boys, not girls. I'd come home with scrapes on my arms and legs, and they said it was something they couldn't accept, so I then played in secret.
It would be years until her parents gave their approval. It's an issue that remains a key part of Tuğba's work. Parents forbidding their daughters from playing football.
They're afraid of the girls losing their roots, or maybe forgetting their language or where they come from. Parents have those fears, and we have to reassure them.
Maisa and Maisun live in this residential estate on the outskirts of Cologne. The family of 7 lives in a 4-room apartment. With visitors coming round for dinner later, they're preparing a special meal. Maisa and her mother are busy filling rolled spinach leaves with rice and vegetables.
This food is to remind us of back home, our past and what our culture means. It's a traditional dish in Iraq and every family likes it. It's called afrag.
Hi, how are you doing? What smells so good?
Food.
Tuğba has become a kind of big sister for the girls. Unlike many other parents, theirs are not against the daughters playing football. They were surprised by the impact it's had on the girls.
We made them go to school. They couldn't speak German yet. Maisa was in 4th grade and Maisun in 1st, so they couldn't be in the same class. The teachers said that Maisun never said anything. 6 months later, a teacher came over and we asked how things were going. And she said that now Maisun couldn't stop talking.
The family and their visitor also have a religious Yazidi connection. The girls' parents are originally from the north of Iraq, one of the Yazidi faith's main ancestral homelands. In 2014, they had to flee from the advancing Islamic State, together with thousands of others.
Just think, we are currently 1 million Yazidis, and 500,000 are displaced. Most of those are here in Germany, numbering around 220 to 250,000. We don't have written scriptures like others do. We don't have a Torah or Bible or Quran. Our religion is passed down orally. That's why IS made a systematic attempt to kill our clergy, so that the religion would die with them.
After dinner, they all take their places in the living room to watch a Champions League match between Manchester City and RB Leipzig. The stadium is sold out, and the match is being broadcast live, which is par for the course in the men's game. Maisa and Maisun's sporting idols also tend to be male players, although there are now a number of famous female footballers too.
Barcelona have a great team, but they're basically the only ones who are well known.
But still, Maisun has a German women's team shirt, a present from Tuğba.
With your name. Who knows, one day you could be wearing that shirt while lining up to the national anthem.
When the women are famous too.
Maybe when you're in the team. Maybe we'll see you on TV. Is that your dream?
Yes.
Then let's make it come true.
Tuğba's own dream came true here, on the training grounds of Cologne. This stadium played host to the highlight of her career.
We got promoted in 2015 without losing a game. That was one of the best days of my life.
That promotion took the team to the top flight in German league football, the Bundesliga. While Tuğba was enjoying her best ever season, several thousand kilometers away in Iraq, the Yazidis were under attack from IS.
Whenever I wasn't playing or training, it was all I could think of, together with the images. My sister was over there at the time and sent us photos and videos. I had constant anxiety, except for those 2 or 2.5 hours when I was at training or during games at the weekend. Then I could switch off. But this was a hugely successful year for us when we were promoted. So it was a case of 2 worlds colliding, and it was really hard for me to deal with.
Unwilling to stand idly by, Tuğba founded a human rights organization together with her sisters. Hawar Help, or Cry for Help. Scoring Girls was among the projects that have become a new focus for Tuğba since her own playing career. Some of their backing comes from the German Football Association and FC Cologne. Tuğba organizes fundraising and donation campaigns and has been creating new Scoring Girls setups in Cologne and Berlin, and more recently, in Yazidi refugee camps in Iraq. She's hoping to start a new group there in a few weeks' time and discusses all the important matters with her sister, Düzen.
Ich bin echt gespannt, wie das wird.
I'm curious to see whether we manage to acquire or reach enough girls,
Akquirieren will ich jetzt einfach mal sagen, oder zu erreichen.
whether they're actually allowed to and want to play.
Ob sie Lust haben. Da
I'm
bin ich
not
echt sehr,
sure
sehr
what to
gespannt, was da
expect.
erwartet, bin ich ganz ehrlich.
We're talking about Iraq and the Kurdistan region and conservative religious ideas. It's bound to be a challenge. You have to stay vigilant and careful. But I also think we'll need that courage.
Danke dir.
Thanks.
Bis
See ya.
dann. Ciao, Düzen.
Love
Tschüss.
you.
Ich dich
You
auch.
too.
Tuğba is paying another visit to Maisa and Maisun to tell them about her upcoming trip to Iraq.
Hi. Danke schön. Danke.
The meeting brings back old memories of the time when the family had to flee from the Islamic State.
I couldn't believe what was happening. I would never have thought that they would kidnap and murder people. I thought we'd only be gone for a day or two. We had no idea it would be such a long time, so we didn't take anything with us.
Maisun was just 6 at the time, Maisa 7.
I was too young to understand it. I wondered where we were going and why. And there were a lot of old people who couldn't even walk anymore. We tried to take them along because we had space in our car, but there were too many of them.
Alles gut.
An estimated 5,000 people were killed. Countless women and children enslaved, and boys recruited to be soldiers. The family managed to make it to Turkey and lived in a refugee camp there for a while. Then they crossed the sea to get to Europe.
There were smugglers offering to take people across from Izmir to Greece in inflatable dinghies. Most people died because a sea crossing in a little boat like that is not easy.
Eventually, the family reached Germany and then spent years in refugee accommodation before getting their apartment. Their journey here was a hard one and paved with rejection and hostility.
I've sometimes been told that I don't belong here and should go back to my own country. It's horrible. People like us would rather have stayed in our country, but we didn't have a choice. We had to come here.
Listening to these stories always gives me goosebumps, because you can't believe that something like this could happen in the 21st century. And this is an ongoing genocide. We still have women held captive by IS, and nobody knows where they are.
Despite everything, Maisa still longs for her home country.
I'd love to see it again.
Sure. And someday we'll make it happen. That's where you're from, so it's only natural to be homesick.
Tuğba knows how it feels to go back to her roots. Traveling to Iraq is always an emotional experience.
I'd often felt homesick, but didn't know what for. It was only when I went to Iraq for the first time last year that I knew I was home. People spoke Kurdish there, my mother tongue. I didn't feel as foreign there.
After months of preparation, the volunteer coach is planning the next stage of her project in Iraq.
This will be our third location in Dohuk. And it's exciting because for the first time we're going to be in a city instead of a camp. So we'll see what awaits us there.
Tuğba arrives in the Kurdistan region in northern Iraq. Suddenly, the fate of her fellow Yazidis feels all too close.
This is Mosul Dam. On its other side, Mosul was the first city in Iraq to be taken by IS. They organized operations there with one clear goal in mind: the extermination, the genocide of the Yazidis. So it is strange being here and knowing how close it all actually is. Close to Germany too. It's only a 4-hour flight away.
4 Flugstunden entfernt.
The Yazidis are terrified of IS returning and everything happening all over again. That's why they haven't come back.
This camp alone is home to over 10,000 people, internally displaced in their own country. Tuğba has come to visit the Scoring Girls project here, set up a number of years ago. For many of the youngsters, playing football is the only break they get from life in the camp.
Our aim here is different to in Germany. In Iraq, we want to get the girls out of the tents. A lot of the girls and their parents say it's a kind of therapy to be out on the pitch. That's great, because we want them to forget about daily camp life and all the things they've been through. Serious traumatic experiences. And out here, they can forget about all of that for a couple of hours. You can see how much fun they're having. They love it.
Most of them have been living here for 9 years now.
Of course it makes me sad, seeing so many girls stuck here without a life. For me, the solution is not to be sad, but to do something, to take the initiative and help to change these girls' lives.
Zalia is one of the scoring girls here. She savors every single second she can spend on the pitch.
I feel free and strong, and all I think about is playing. I always tell myself, whatever happens, we have to remain strong, with everything, not just football. We should always try to be first, or at least second or third. That's a good aim.
Zalia's life here in the camp is one with precious few comforts. But at least she is able to get a school education, thanks also to the various aid groups involved here.
After finishing school, I want to leave the camp and support my parents. They bought me a backpack and stationery especially for school. It would be bad if I didn't make it. I need to have a bright future.
Waiting for a future where nobody knows if and when it will arrive. But returning to their former home will not be possible. The Shingar region, where Zalia's family is from, has been largely destroyed.
It's not very nice now. There's nothing there, not even any aid organisations. And it's too dangerous for me to play football there, or run, or play any other games.
Her family is determined to stay in Iraq.
My husband doesn't want to go to Germany.
I don't want to go anywhere abroad.
Nowhere except home.
Your life will always be rooted in the place where you were born and raised. It's normal to want to go back there. If our children went to Germany, the Netherlands, or somewhere else in Europe, they would see it as their new home and want to stay. But people of my generation, or slightly younger, want to return to our homeland. There's no other place for us but our country.
And so they'll be staying in the camp, while Zalia finds comfort in playing football and being part of a team.
I can forget about the camp and all my worries when I'm playing football or some other cool game.
Today is a big day for Tuğba Tekkal. In the northern Iraqi city of Dohuk, she and her project team want to start offering regular football practice. The indoor hall was provided by a local sports club. As she'd been hoping, the project is now up and running.
We're in the middle of the city, which is great because we didn't want to be just in camps. There are a lot of girls in the city too who are keen to play football.
Some are already doing warm-up routines. The coach is surprised by the number of girls who've turned up. Unlike in the refugee camps, many of the parents in the city are against the sport and don't want their daughters playing.
Unfortunately, it's still a bit forbidden and frowned upon. But we assured the parents that this is a safe space and that there's no need to worry. So for now, they trust us. Today, we already have over 20 girls, which is amazing.
It's taken months of planning and preparation and plenty of persuasion. But now there are scoring girls training and playing in Dohuk too.
Scoring girls!
Back in Cologne, even during school holidays, Tuğba looks after her girls. On the schedule today is climbing as well as football.
The parents are really grateful for us putting on this camp for 3 or 4 days during the holidays, because otherwise the girls would be sitting around at home doing nothing. You first.
Me?
Your hand's already chalked up.
For Tuğba, it's not just about keeping the girls occupied. She also wants to keep them on their toes with new situations and challenges.
It's important to introduce them to other sports too, including solo sports. Football is a team game, but solo sports can teach you to find motivation in a different way. And you still have your team cheering you on. Yesterday you were saying you were too scared of heights to climb, and now?
I was scared at the top, but then it was okay.
So what have we learned? To always believe in ourselves and keep on trying. And in the end, you all made it to the top.
Scoring Girls is a project that caters to the young woman's needs away from sport, too.
They seem pretty independent, but then there's the red tape involved in things like residency rights and finding new accommodation. We're currently helping a girl to apply for German citizenship, which she would never manage on her own. So we're happy to help.
Tuğba is proud of her girls and will do anything she can to help them. They also get assistance with their schoolwork and writing applications. Today, the team welcome a new member, Hilva. The enthusiasm of her big sisters Maisa and Maisun is evidently contagious.
The only thing I think about here is football. I forget about all my fears and doubts. Tuğba's taught me to always follow my dreams and make them happen.
Just a sec. When you're in possession, wide. And when you're not, narrow. Try to remember that.
And for the coach as well, it's been a dream come true.
I'm proud of not being deterred and for believing in the girls and the project. And I'm grateful to them for trusting me and managing to grow and now passing that on to the younger kids too. Keep moving. Now pass upfield.
Good.
It means so much. I love it.
Young Hilva is immediately at the heart of the action.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah? Scoring Girls now has 7 bases across Germany and 3 in Iraq, too. Tuğba Tekkal's dedication is bearing fruit, with a growing number of young women finding empowerment through football.
What I really love is seeing how football helps these girls to grow and become more self-confident. And seeing how they have new goals in life. Instead of dreaming of becoming a doctor's assistant, they want to be doctors. It shows just what football is capable of achieving. That was great!